Hi, it's PJ again. I enjoyed talking to you guys so much that after we had our movie, I wanted to come on again because I had some stuff that I really wanted to like show you guys. Um, and I don't know, maybe you guys gave me some ideas. Um, like I wanted to put a better background around back behind me if that's where I'm going to be like doing my crafts. And also, if there's anything that you guys see that you want me to try to make, I can do that. Um, like some of the stuff that I try to make, it turns out really bad. Like my first sets of anything are absolutely hilarious anyway. So if you guys want to see me like try to craft something, um, I'll take you like from the very first one that I do. Um, and like I have a question about this thing, okay? Because I'm making it for my son's girlfriend, okay? And her name's Lachlan. And so I have this piece of like I get pieces of not pieces of, but I get all kind of I don't know if you can see this stuff or not. I just want to make sure I'm aiming the phone. I'm not very good at this phone aiming stuff. Like I have all kind of different wreaths and things that are wreath like, and this is a Christmas wreath that turned out really nice with some nice elements on it. And under this is what I want to show you, but under here, let me show you this real quick. I'll show you some of the stuff I've done. Um, it's probably hard to see, but this, I call it my steampunk wreath. Because if you can see some of the elements on it, there's like clock faces and keys and like just all kind of, even papers, um, keyholes, like just all kind of, and it would be hanging somewhere in my house because I have some other elements upstairs, but there's like naked spots, see? Like right there, and I don't like that. So I brought it down to put some more elements on it, and I don't know why I have ratchet straps sitting on my craft table, but um, my whole my whole life isn't organized. Upstairs in my house is very organized, but down here things can get um, a little hinky. But all right, got rid of the ratchet straps. So now I'm going to show you this piece. Um, like I don't know if it looks like something for. Oh, now I'm getting my phone cord wrapped up in it because my phone's hooked up to a battery because I don't know how to charge a phone right. Okay, so this probably looks like something from Whoville. I'm going to try to put it on the black backdrop of my dryer here so you can get a good look at it. It's not quite finished, so one side has a piece of tinsel dangling. So, but as a whole, are you ready for this? Here we go. All right, here we go. Ta-da! Okay, so the balls say Laughlin, and they're painted with some really nice sparkly letters from Michaels. I thought about hand painting them, and I can do that, but I just wanted to like make sure that all the letters were like nice and even because it's hard when things aren't like I can make lettering nice when it's on like paper or canvas and the letters are right beside each other. I can size things up nice and I can hand draw some really nice letters and words, you know. But when you have like one letter on each ball, that's a little more difficult. So I just went and did it that way. The stringer of lights here on the top part of the, I don't even know what to call it, bulb hanging something. Any suggestions for a name? What this was, um, here, let me put it on top of my washer just started running, so it's probably gonna be loud. Sorry. Um, let me see if I can show you the parts of this. Okay, so this hoop here and these things, these arms that come down, okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. You probably want to choke me. So just, it kind of resembles a coat hanger, I know, but it was just this piece of metal going up and down, and then I strung this here thing across there that the bulbs are hanging on, okay? My husband, when I was trying to ask him what he thought of it, he's like, oh, you mean that coat hanger thing? So after he did that, I'm like, oh, maybe I should just like gut it and junk it, you know? But I don't know. Like, tell me what you think. It's really cool when it's lit up, you know, too. Um, but how about this? Any ideas? You guys can say whatever you want. I'm not going to be insulted. I know it's pretty crazy looking, but like, I'm going to finish it either way because it's already there, and then I'm going to determine whether it's a keeper or whether it goes on the gut pile, because like, I don't waste anything. I my wreaths and everything, I haven't bought a wreath out of Michael's yet. What I do is I'll go to Goodwill or something and buy the wreaths that have like the really bad, the really ugly wreaths, you know, and I'll bring them home and I'll gut them and keep the pics if there's any value to them, if you know, and like, I've gotten some really nice like greenery, you know, like, I'm not really fond of flowers too much at all, I guess. I'm not really a flower kind of a person. But the greenery and some vines, like some ivy looking stuff, I've gotten off of some wreaths and have been really pleased with that. So yeah, if you need wreaths at all, the best place to get them is, I mean, unless you want like a specific one, like they had some really cool, it looked like they were made of fiber optics or something at Michael's. Like, maybe I'll take you in there with me and show you, like, if they still have them. I'm gonna smoke. This is the worst habit I have in my life. I don't drink anymore, and I don't bang heroin anymore, and I don't smoke crack anymore, and I don't do anything illegal anymore. Smoking is my final vice, so I figure I've let go of enough. You know what I mean? For now. I mean, there's always room for change in the future, but you know, I think I'm kind of feeling like, you know, I'm winning, and I don't know. I guess I feel like maybe God wouldn't hold this one against me. I hope not, anyway. But yeah. So I was going to show you a few things. So I'm going to turn this camera around so I can show you a couple things. Okay. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Can I do that? Is that going to do it? That's not doing it. What is going on? I don't think this is going to let me turn it around. Yeah, I just don't know why it's not going to let me turn it around. Huh. All right, well, I'll have to try like this. Maybe I can figure it out. Oh, I have an editing app that I paid for a year, and it's called UCut. And I got it for that motorcycle video, music video that I was telling you guys about, where I wrote this little song called The Back Wave. And I was trying to use this editing app to you know, put it together, put some stuff in it, and I started like trying to, you know, cut the videos into pieces and insert different videos. And I don't know why, but understanding like how to do that, where like when you take the line and you take it to a certain part in the video, like I was cutting the crap out of all of these little videos that I made, and it was just like a nightmare, and I was getting so frustrated, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I really don't. I don't know if I'm just dumb when it comes to this stuff, because I mean I'm not technologically, a reject or anything, or super stupid. I I'm good with a computer, and I went to business college and stuff, so it's not that. I don't know. Maybe it's just something I don't get. I don't know, but I'm gonna try. And I've been watching some videos on how to do it, but it hasn't really made it any easier. So, anyway, okay. Here's the giant stocking I was telling you guys about before. Okay. So this is it. If you can see, the tinsel here is what had the balls hanging off of it. That, like this ball here, that the little girl mauled. So I brought it down here for repairs, and like my dog didn't totally kill it, but like the little holly berries on the hat, she chewed up, and she didn't get this element really at all. This here tall one here, she left the holly berries alone, and she did get the oh Jesus, I think I've got it on there, and then I don't. And there's these little berries on top of the gift box thing, but these here, this gift box, that's actually a pick. It's just, these are all picks. They're just large ones, okay. And on my last video I said that the large stocking that I made had about $50 worth of picks in it, but I would say, well, I got 50, between 50 and $70 in picks there. And that's with the sale price, because those extra large picks are like between 10 and like 15 to $18 without them being on sale. So they're pretty significant. And I only have, I think, one or two more stockings to make, small ones, this year. And this is what I have left in my pick bin, which them are slim pickings. Yeah, this thing was overflowing at the beginning of the year, and I still had stuff in bags and everything, because like I went pick crazy, because I knew, I had this plan, that I was gonna do these stockings this year, and I got the idea from going to Goodwill and saw these stockings like I showed you in the last video of these stockings, just the plain stocking with nothing else. There were three of them that Goodwill was selling. So, pardon me. What the heck? So, I grabbed these three stockings out, and they gave me a really great inspiration for doing something for Christmas. And I was like, oh yeah, I could put like people's names on there, or whatever, or draw something on there or something. And yeah, so that's where that idea came from, is finding the three stockings that they were selling at Goodwill. And like Goodwill's prices have gone up so much lately. I used to be able to get stuff there like so cheap, but those three stockings, I think they were selling for like $6 or something. Or before, just plain stockings like that, they would have been like, $3 for three of them. They would have tied them all together and sold them as a batch, for a couple bucks. But they're just going crazy out of their mind with their prices, I don't know what's going on with that. And we have in our town here, where I live, there's a mission, where they help homeless people, and And my husband actually was in the mission. He had been there for a couple of years when we met. He was in like this extended program, and that was 14 years ago. But yeah, they help people with addiction problems, homeless problems, and everything. And they used to have these stores where, like, they would take donations and put them in these stores, and people would come and buy these donations. They were called hidden treasure stores, and they were there was one right in my little town, and then there was one like a couple like on the little towns that are kind of on the outskirts of my little town that I live in. That's not too far from Pittsburgh. So, and that was a place where, like, I mean, you could go in there, and I loved it because you could really find some hidden treasures. I mean, you could find some. It wouldn't be unusual to go in there and find, like, I'm a Coach fan, Coach purses and shoes, and it wouldn't be crazy to go in there and find like a Coach purse, you know. It wouldn't be crazy to go in there and find a Louis purse, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the people that were donating to the mission were people with money. And so, you know, I know they made a lot of good money, but it's a shame because they've shut down I don't know if they shut them down yet, but they're going to shut down the stores. They kind of like had this corporation take over and run the stores, and then their prices like tripled overnight. And I don't know if this mission is now like, I don't like how you can't see my eyes in that light. I don't know if but now I've got this big shiny thing behind me there. That's better. I don't know if this mission is like now accepting money funding from the government, or what, but everything is just out of whack with it. There's people that I know that have worked there, and they've quit because they said that it's just a terrible place to work now. They've changed all the rules. They used to host recovery meetings there in the dining room. My phone's getting a little heavy here, guys. Especially with that battery. I got a battery in one hand. And in my last video, when I was trying to put this phone in this basket so it would stay still, there was all this noises, and I didn't know it. So I'm like telling you guys, sorry, and the phone's going all over the place, and it's making this terrible squish sound. And you probably, like, so many, well, I don't know, I didn't get very many views, but people probably, like, if they made it that far, were probably like, oh my god, I can't stand this noise, I'm getting the hell out of here, you know. And I don't blame you. But you know, that I'm really new at this. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just know that I've been wanting to do something for a long time that has to do with this, you know, having a conversation with people, you know. I'm kind of like a mixed batch of all kind of stuff. I have written a book, and I have a lot of stories about some really crazy stuff that's happened in my life, and a lot of it I think I can share now with the statute of limitations being, you know, passed and everything. I don't think I can be, you know, prosecuted for the stuff. And you know, the things that I've done wrong in my life, you know, I don't think that it's great, you know, that I broke the law and that I got away with stuff, you know what I mean? I think that I've led this very crazy, very chaotic life that had a lot of high points and a lot of low points, and then I did a lot of things that I regret. You know, so I don't want to put like across the impression that, like, you know, I'm braggadocious about like getting away with, you know, murder, you know what I mean? But I mean, it is what it is, you know. But yeah, just, I don't know whether so I want to make my mark on this earth. I mean, obviously, I'm not getting any younger. I'm 58, and I think I clean up pretty well for 58. But I think I think I look like a grandma with these on a lot of times. But they're readers, So, but that's what my eyes really look like. If anybody was curious about that, because they do look kind of googy behind these, but I like my glasses, and I forgot where I was. Yeah, so I'm old. I'm like granny age now. So I don't know. I guess I want to do this before I certainly don't feel old inside. I am shocked frequently, like now, because I can see me while I'm doing this, that I don't feel the way that I look, that's for sure. I guess I'm okay with the way I look. I have I do my own filler, and that's another fun thing that I do, is stick frickin' needles in my lips on occasion. I have some stuff going on here, and here, and it's been a little while. I have to order some numbing cream from this Korean place that I get, and I can share that journey with you too. I watched videos of a girl. I went and got some filler, and it was outrageously expensive, and I barely got to hit that cigarette because I talked to you so much. But so I'm probably going to chain smoke right now, if you don't mind. Is it okay if I chain smoke? But went and got some filler, okay, and my hubby, treated me to it. It was absolutely outrageous. It was like $800 for, I think it was one syringe. Yeah. The day of, I could tell the difference. I got it all in my lips, nowhere else. The day of, I could tell the difference because of the swelling, right? But after that, I couldn't tell the difference, and I was so aggravated about how prohibitive it was. You know what I mean? Because I'm not like poor or anything like that, but I certainly don't have $800 per syringe laying around, when if I've got the balls enough and the nerve enough, I can order a syringe for $30 to $40 over the internet, and numbing cream, and I can do it myself. And I got the books, and that shows you where everything is, and needle insertion, needle depth, etc. And I watched a million videos from this girl Jessica from Wannabe Beauty Guru. Watched repetitive videos of her over and over again, injecting filler into her lips, and it's legal. It's just not legal for me to do it to anybody else. And after everybody saw mine, they all kept asking me, and there was, I could have made a lot of money, but like, if something goes wrong and you can get an occlusion, especially in your lips, and if you get an occlusion, it can cut off the circulation to the blood in your lips, and things can get pretty hairy pretty quick, and there's stuff you can inject in there that will break up the filler, but that's just a whole thing. Okay, on me, if I hurt myself, that's on me. But if I was to do that to somebody else and they ended up with a bad situation, I would go to jail. I think it would be something along the lines of practicing medicine without a license. So that's pretty heavy. I don't want that on me, and actually, it would be nice it would feel good to help people too, like, people, have said, oh, it looks so good. Will you do mine? And it's like, oh, I'd like to do that. I'd like to help you, but I mean, when I do it, it's not fun. It's definitely not fun. And I've got to mentally rev myself up for it every time I do it. And then I want to do it all at once because I want to just do it and get it over with so I don't have to do it for another 6 to 9 months. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, maybe, I'll definitely take down that journey with me next time. Usually I just watch wannabe, uh, wannabe beauty guru videos by Jessica while I'm doing it, So I'm watching her, so I kind of get the feel goods from her, while I'm doing it, so I don't think, why am I doing this crazy thing? Because I'm like watching somebody else do it, Well, somebody else is sticking needles in their lips and everywhere else too, and down. I mean, when you do, I have some filler. I can still feel it in my cheekbones, and you literally, put the needle up against your cheekbone bone, and inject it there like 6 places, and oh yeah, it's fun. It's fun. The things, the things that we women like won't do, to fight that clock. You know what I mean? Excuse me. But yeah. So I'm kind of like I consider myself a character. Um, I'm not, being, one thing I don't want to come across is like some egomaniac who thinks that they're so funny, and oh, I'm such a character. Oh, I'm just, because like, um, I don't like one thing that I dread being is cringy and corny and inauthentic. That it scares me to death. If I feel like I'm heading in that direction, I just want to go stick my head in a hole. You know what I mean? So, hopefully, we'll just keep the ball rolling here with stuff, and I'll keep thinking about things to talk about. And like, God, sorry about that. That was kind of like I felt like I was sitting at a bar about 10 years ago. Yeah, it was kind of that bar face for a second there. It scared me. But yeah, just maybe, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe I'll like do live, which is terrifying to me because I've seen people do lives, and I know people are so brutal in the chat section, and I'd love to interact with people, but like I wish that I could kind of like see comments, you know what I mean, while like make a couple of these videos and then see if I get any positive interaction from people, and then maybe like do a live, because I'd be happy to like, show you guys some stuff, and and I have paint and I have everything down here. I'm willing to try anything that that you guys want to try craft wise, or if you guys want to show me. I don't know how we do that. Collaborate, maybe? I don't know. If you guys want to show me how to do some stuff and I can try it over here. Now, know if I just put a shower curtain. I have a Kraken shower curtain that I used to have in my bathroom, and that's what I'm going to put for my backdrop here. Because over here is our downstairs bathroom, and that is a jellyfish shower curtain, but that's covering up the toilet over there. That's like the bathroom over there, because it doesn't have like a door down here in the basement. There's a shower over there in a bathroom. And oh, my son's dad actually moved in with us a few years back for a little bit, and we had helped out a couple people in recovery where I had put a day bed over here. And we actually had a couple people living, not charging rent, or anything like that, just living in our basement because they didn't have. Well, the one person, his name was Glada, and he was an older gentleman, and he was supposed to be saving up some money for an apartment. So we let him move in here, you know. I believe he got veterans benefits or something, or Social Security or something. So he was getting some money, but we never asked him for a red cent, right? He stayed here for a year. And I'm thinking he's like got to have a good bit of money by now, So I'm talking to him. And I'm like, okay, Glada, you've been here for a year, Let's talk about, how much do you have for security deposit and first rent saved up, And I didn't expect him to be a millionaire, I know he did snuff or whatever, and phone bill or whatever, I didn't expect him to be rich. He didn't have not one red cent. You want to know why? His girlfriend, who was a nurse, or no, going through nursing school, yeah, never saw her, never spoke to her in person, never met her. I think she was from some New England state, said she was from some New England state, and he was sending her all his money, and that's why he didn't have any money. He was absolutely convinced that this person was real and that this was his girlfriend, and that they were going to be together and they were going to get married. And I was so angry when I heard that, when he told me that. I wrote him an eviction letter, and I told him it was time for him to move on, because I just, and I mean, I gave him time to find a place and everything, but you know what, he had opportunity while he was here to sign up for housing and everything, and he never took advantage of that. And he is still like living, I don't want to say out on the street, but living from like place to place because he's just not, motivated. So, and I kind of got that feeling, like that he'd just stay here forever if we let him, So I gave him ample time to, find other digs and everything, and we kept a bunch of his stuff here in the closet for him for a long time. Matter of fact, it just left here not too long ago. That was here, for years while he, couch surfed or whatever. And then after that, my son's dad moved in here for a period of time, and that's just a whole nother story. And I don't really want to get into that right now because it gets really dark. But I'd probably be okay with sharing that story too. But yeah, I mean, and there's certain aspects of that too that I have to be careful with, to respect other people's boundaries, because this involves, and I don't know, I mean, it probably wouldn't go anywhere or very far, because this isn't like going to go viral or anything, but it involves my significant other's at that time 17-year-old daughter, and yeah, so I'm not really sure how much of that I want to put out, because I certainly don't want to offend her, or get her mother riled up, telling the story. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate that. So I don't know, maybe I can like just take that part out, or be very vague about it, maybe. But there was a relapse of mine involved in that story too, and it just ended up being a hot mess, because you got to be careful. When somebody shows you who they are, believe it. And I believe that people can change, but you have to be careful, because I allowed him to stay here because he had gone to prison. Was it for a year or 2 years? I can't remember. Oh my gosh. Was it a year or 2 years? think it was 2 years. And, we were talking because, his son's here, and he was sounding really good, Um, this is my personal professional opinion. He's an alcoholic, and he does drugs. He says he doesn't, blah, blah, whatever. But mostly drinking, and one of the reasons why I left him when we still had a very young son was because I knew that I needed to stop doing what I was doing, drinking and drugs, to raise my son. And he showed me that he wasn't ready to do that, and I could not do that while I was with him. So I departed from him, and so that's how we broke up. And then he ended up in jail, and he sounded like he had cleaned up his act, and he was, telling me he was going to come out and get into recovery and things, and his own family wouldn't give him a place to stay. They know him, you know, um, and so I gave him a home plan here after talking to my significant other about it. And my significant other is a wonderful person, so he said yes. And we let him move into our basement, and it was like letting the devil move into our basement. And from the first 2 weeks when he moved in here, he was drinking in my basement, and I wrote him letters that I read to him and cried while I was reading, begging him to please not drink in my home because I was in recovery, and I didn't want to have to ask him to leave because his son would be hurt, and he knew, though, like, he knew that I didn't want to ask him to leave because of his son, so he just continued to drink and take advantage of the situation. And I fell into a depression, and I said I wasn't going to get into this now, didn't I? I did. I said I wasn't going to get into this. I'm not going to tell this story right now. For one thing, it's too long. Too long for right now. Should I go live? I know it's crazy. And it's late. Do people go... Wait a minute. Is there a YouTube live? Yeah, there's a YouTube. Wait. How do people go live? Yeah, they go live on YouTube. Yeah. It's not just TikTok. Yeah. I don't know. I'm scared. And I don't know if I should tell a story or do crafts. Let's see the ornament. Okay. See that nice blue one there? But it needs to be, I think, a little darker for that background. Now, this is an ornament that I'm making for my son. Okay. And this is an ornament that is kind of like that. And you put your stuff, you take this comes off, and you put things in there. And one thing, when you're making these ornaments of any kind, I learned something, okay? You can put all kind of stuff in them, but if it doesn't have a support, like a wire, or if it won't stand up on its own, if it's just like, little snow or crystals or whatever, not crystals, but like, it all falls to the bottom. It all falls to the bottom. And then you can't see it. See, there's all kind of tinsel stuff in there. But if you look closely, you will see like little stars in there. Okay, there's a little star behind that right there. And that is this. I have this in different colors that I ordered from Amazon. In all different colors. Silver, red, green, blue. There's like a purple. Okay, and there's a white. It's like a little wire, but it's very easy to cut. Okay, so I take a length about that long. I guess that's about 5 or 6 inches. And I'll snip that off. And then I'll like kind of bend it around a little bit to make it like a little bit curly like that. and then I feed it down into there, push it down in there, and then, it's something that doesn't fall to the bottom. Okay, here's the rear view of it. So there's a lot of stuff in there, but most of it is the tinsel, and then this this bag of tinsel that I have. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't call it tinsel powder. Like, it's just chopped up tinsel. And I ordered that off of Amazon quite a while ago. But yeah, so you can see, like, how I put the name on it. And it's fine to do it without, like, a background, but you can see the name so much better when you have some kind of background. And it can be kind of transparent like that, but I like it to be a little bit more opaque. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the stocking away, and I haven't glued the stuff in here yet. I've got this one to make. I've got to finish this one, which I'm not too far from doing. And then I have to make one for my son's school. My son goes to a Christian school. And I recently did some paintings of their school logo. I did a painting of their logo, which is like a knight on a horse. It's a Christian academy that he goes to, and I have pictures of it, but I don't have any other way to show you what I created for them. But I can take you into my parlor, my hangout joint, and I've got some stuff up there that I painted. I don't know. I get into these painting things where I'll just, like, grab something and just start, like, painting it. But yeah, so this ornament, I think I'm going to put a little bit more of it's got sparkles in it. Glitter paint. Okay, and this is just blue. And when you put it on, like, it looks white with blue in it. But that's just an illusion. When it dries, where's my brush? Where's my towel? And down here in my craft dungeon, like I said, I always have my glue gun fired up. Always have my Gorilla glue gun fired up, because you never know when you gotta glue something. So I come down here, I have an extension cord that I gotta share it with my tanning bed fan, okay, because there's limited plugs down here, so everything's kind of run by my extension cord. So I got one extension cord that goes from my tanning bed fan to, I'll unplug my tanning bed fan, bring it out here, and then plug in my extension cord that my light goes to, and then I have a heater because it's winter time, and my glue gun. And I had a dilemma earlier when I was recording where I didn't have enough room to plug my phone in, so I had to unplug my heater and plug my phone in so I wouldn't run out of battery. But yeah, I think one more coat of this is going to be nice. See how it's, like, kind of like white, like almost like glue, it looks like. And like it, and that's how it dries too. It's like glue's, that, like, Elmer's glue, kind of like is transparent when it dries, and that's what this reminds me of a little bit. But this here, I think this is going to make it just exactly what kind of background I need for it. And I'm actually going to extend it. I'm making the bubble of it a little wider, because and a little bit more random, kind of like so there's not like such a line of, I guess, demarcation, and kind of like scatter them around a little bit, you know. That's hard to do, like, in front of the camera. But basically what I'm doing is kind of just like spreading it out a little bit, and then that will be like just put a little bit of sparkle out there, so there won't be like that hard, you know, line around. I mean, it's still in the center, there will be like that bubble, but it won't be as like a hardcore of a line there, you know, between, like, you know what I mean? It'll kind of be diffused out a little bit instead of just being like this blob in the middle of the thing, in the middle of the ornament. But yeah, I think this is going to be I'm going to make this like very simple. I'm not going to put like, I think, you know, the more, when I work on stuff, I find out, you know, and I OCD stuff out too. Like, when something is good enough, I've always got to, you know, add more. And then a lot of things have come out. I've learned that it looks too busy. You know what I mean? So, like, a good idea is to, you know, try to keep things simple. I have noticed that anything elegant, well, I don't know. I've seen some pretty gingerbreaded up houses that definitely aren't simple, but they still look elegant. You know what I mean? But I think I would say, like, a lot of things that are elegant are simple. You know what I mean? Or don't have, you know, when you can make this simple, you can definitely overdo something, you know. All right, so and this see, I know it seems like it's really covered on the front, but see in the middle how, like, that it's a little bit darker blue, so that's where his name's going to be. But all this white around here is going to disappear, and then it's just going to be like sparkles, you know what I mean? So, but I think this is going to turn out really nice. So put my brush back in my water there, and I'm going to run this over to the heater and drop it under the heater, and I'll be right back. So yeah, I don't know how people go on live here. And I don't know how people start watching. How do you do that? Do people just go through live and watch stuff? But dang, I'm tempted to do it. I'm gonna do it. I'll be back. Maybe I'll be crying. Maybe I'll be upset. But I'll be back. Bye. Oh, we're going to do some crafting, and we're going to do some bullshitting the next time on PJ's Come With Me in Crafting Chaos, and we'll have another little story time and shoot the shit. God bless you, and enjoy the snow in western Pennsylvania. Bye.